Now, on the left, you have a Chinese mobile phone game. And this is how it looks like. On the right, you have from the progressive America, bringing you with the power of diversity, inclusivity, and equity, the most beautiful character ever made. And if you criticize it, then you are a sexist, misogynistic bigot. Just buy the product and shut up. No, but seriously, like, look at it. What is with like the strong jawline? Is this a fetish in California? Yeah? Like, are all the developers from all the companies getting together and it's like, you know what we need? We need the strongest woman ever. The power of our leftism combined. We need to channel that energy in order to make the women with the strongest jawline that the world has ever seen. A jawline that would cut diamonds. And with broad, strong shoulders and big, bulging muscles. I mean, this type of archetype, I have seen it in many games coming out recently. I have seen it in the very progressive Diablo 4 character editor. I have seen it even in cartoons, like She-Ra is sporting the same thing. So I'm wondering, is it because women that look like this have developed Ultra Instinct and avoid game developers, especially the ones from California, yeah? Like, the moment they know that a game developer is even in the neighborhood, they just go into a different neighborhood. Like, their Ultra Instinct activates. So, the poor game developer from AAA studios, they do not get to see women like this in their real life at all. They only see women like this, so this is how they can represent them in the video games, because this is their reality. But all jokes aside, you know, like, these new games that are coming, they're not just ugly in the aesthetics of their characters. We're talking about gameplay, creativity, polish. I mean, look, this is Redfall, right? This is the next gen game. This is why you should buy a graphics card on your PC. This is why you should upgrade to enjoy this. This is how games looked like in 2016. Like, back in 2016, I was curious, wow, if games look like this, I'm really curious how they're going to look in 2023. Apparently like this. It's kind of funny because there were some leaks about this game on the internet, and the company is striking them down to the point where they even struck down their own Twitter account. Like, their official Twitter account for this game had its art taken down by the bot. Like, this is the level of incompetency we're talking about on all fucking fronts. So you know, we live in 2023 where video games don't work. Like, you're lucky if they do. And I think, like, this meme summarized it. I can't think of a more accurate portrayal than this. Back in the day, you would have the game on a CD and it worked. Okay? No bullshit excuse. It's like, oh, well, you know, with computers, people have different parts. They actually use this excuse unironically. So the new Star Wars game comes out. Doesn't work on PC, like complete fail of a port. And they're like, oh, well, you know, because people on PC have different systems and it's difficult to make the game. Dude, never in the history of humanity have PCs been more standardized than they are now. Like you have 2, maybe 3 options of graphic card companies to get from and a couple of processors. But even then, like, the game doesn't run on consoles very well. So what the fuck are we even talking about? Right? But back in the day, you'd have the game on a CD and it worked, okay? Like, you didn't need day one patch, day one update. No, like, you just bought the game and it worked. The DLC wasn't even called DLC. It was called an expansion pack, and it was half a game. Like, if you guys remember StarCraft Brood War, right? Like, comes out, a lot of missions, like single-player missions, almost the size of the original game, new units, new maps. All the games were like that. So that was how things started. And then you notice as time goes on, it's like, well, you know, like, parts of the game are missing. You get a lot of DLC that is required in order to experience the game. So great examples would be Capcom Fighters on Disc DLC, right? So I think it was Street Fighter Cross Tekken. People found out that there were on Disc DLCs from the get-go. So companies are starting to use these tactics in order to convince people to buy DLC. Then you have the state of 2021 where the game is broken on launch, right? Like, it doesn't work, so you need to get the update in order to get the engine, right? To get the game running. So you need to wait for a couple of updates, and then you buy the DLC as well, and there's some in-game marketplace bullshit. Like this is pretty much how World of Warcraft is functioning, right? Like you pay for it, and then you have to pay extra, and then you have to use the in-game market. But then we arrive to 2023, and this is the absolute fucking shit show that we're in, right? Like, video games will advertise how progressive they are. Like, they don't even talk about the story anymore. They don't even talk about the characters. It's like, no, we are a progressive video game. We focus on diversity, inclusivity, equity. We just don't focus on the game at all. They don't work. Like, this is the biggest problem, right? Like, how many broken titles did we even have this year? Because I lost count, right? Like, you had the Forspoken one, which managed to crash an entire studio. You had the Star Wars game. Very Omoshiroi, right? So the games don't work. You need to wait for the updates, and then you need to spend money for the in-game purchase, and then you buy the DLCs. But, like, literally, the game does not fucking work on launch. I mean, my favorite one is Diablo, the beta one, where it burned people's graphics cards. And I know, like, some people say, well, it's not the game's fault, it's the manufacturer. It's like, sure, you know, fine. But if they were to have actual people testing the game, like in-house testing, like they used to have back in 2010 and 2015, you know, like, this wouldn't have been a problem. Because if they did in-house testing, the graphics card that was effective was very popular. So they could have found it out so that the customer doesn't suffer. I'm not blaming the company, but what I am saying is due to the costs, right? The budget costs that they keep doing. Like if they were to take a little money, just not a lot, but a little money from their diversity, inclusivity, equity programs, you know, from this budget, just take a little bit and add a little bit of in-house testing, a little bit of beta testing, then maybe you wouldn't have people with graphics cards burned down. I know, it's still the company's fault, right? Like the manufacturer of the graphics card. But wouldn't it be nice if the gaming company would save you the graphics card? Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, right, it is what it is, and I do not expect things to improve. I do have to say that the gaming market moving to mobiles also has a lot to do with this, because if you want to be profitable right now, like if you want to make a game and make money, just make a mobile game and put in microtransactions, and you make more money while investing a lot less than making this. And Blizzard knows this. It's why they made Diablo Immortal. They just know where the money is at. It's not on PC. So this is why you get this. I don't know if things will change, by the way. The only way things will change is if the mobiles become like so good that they are going to be just as good as the PC, and then you're going to be able to play on mobile the equivalent of PC games. But I don't see that happening anytime soon either. Maybe with ChatGPT, you know, because it's a lot more difficult to integrate it into mobile games. So maybe with like ChatGPT, you're going to have a renaissance of computer gaming. Like that would be interesting. Not necessarily ChatGPT, but like actual AI that's being used in characters. But until then, we're going to get more of this, right? So a lot of games advertising that they're progressive, that they're diverse, but if you criticize them, you're a bigot, of course. And meanwhile, the actual game doesn't exist. It's not on the launch. It's not on disc. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.